And so it's also another form of strategic communication because the Kremlin announced the publication next video of the visit Vladimir Putin on the ground. It's a clean way to relieve stress, NATO, and to demonstrate that the head of Putin is not ready for war. Give up. So it's a message of power. This puts pressure on Kiev and it is a signal for NATO. Because for Ukraine, the Russian focus on Konstantinovka, that confuses them. Konstantinovka, Kramatorsk, Kupiansky, that indicates clear tactical objectives. Encircled user, create successive breaks in the Ukrainian line, and then to take total control. So the Ukrainian soldiers are overwhelmed. NATO even asks himself, but what is it? Should we continue down this path, or well, do we have to get down on our knees in front of Vladimir Putin because the gentleman is determined? So ladies and gentlemen, that was one of the news items. I'll get back to you soon on time with new information. So we have these zones which these are the most active areas of the front where Russia is intensifying its operations. So he received the reports and he received an operational review, and Putin has affirmed that all the tasks assigned at the previous meeting were accomplished. You remember just recently he was still on the field, and sometimes he won't even not on the field. They do meetings via video conference. So they assign them tasks. Here are the tasks to be completed. To such period, to such and such period, it is necessary that Kupilansk falls, Kramator must falls, Pokrovka must, and etc. So he came to inquire, wherein are we, and what is the decision that one must take? He was very happy, and he announced that all the tasks set during the meeting, previous ones, have been accomplished. All tasks to be assigned, fixed, have been accomplished. So this indicates progress Russian or a favorable stabilization in several key sectors. The Army General Staff, the Directorate Main Operational, the commanders of the Western and Southern groups. So this is the configuration of the most important war meetings. This is the meeting setup for the most important wars. Therefore, Putin went onto the field to hold a very wartime meeting important. After this meeting, what we will see, what the West will see on the terrain will be different. So what are the key points that were examined during the meeting? We have Konstantinovka, we have the direction of Kramatorsk, we have the Kupiansk sector. Putin himself announced that Kupiansk is already fallen. These are areas in the Donetsk who are in the region of Greater Donbass. So Putin is following it to the letter. Every once a locality falls, it is content. Every time there is a locality that seeks to fall, he follows up closely. He receives the reports on a daily basis. As a leader in wartime, he gives the instructions. The Chief Operating Officer Main, all of this was present. It's like saying it's a character solemn and extremely strategic that Putin wanted to imprint this meeting. These are radical decisions which are being taken. Even if we're talking about the negotiations that are underway, the peace plan has been was imposed by America on Ukraine. Vladimir Putin, Russia said no, they agreed, they can go into peace mode. But meanwhile, on the field, we need to increase the pressure because of on the other side, Europe also said that we need to increase the pressure. And Europe, through her spokesperson, Kadiaskala, said that the only action plan that Europe, what is known, is to weaken Russia and to continue supporting Ukraine. So Vladimir Putin will be and is holding this high-level meeting. There are also the group commanders, West and South, who were present at this strategic meeting. So the leader of a military nature, Vladimir Putin, visited on this 20th November 2025 in a command position from the Western group. You know, in Ukraine, that the units are dispensed on the entire national territory Ukrainian. And every unit, whatever it may be, east, west, north, south, the unit is governed by a post of command. These different positions of command are in the areas, border areas. So the grouping of the West, this is where Vladimir Putin rendered, and the information was provided by the spokesperson gave the information by Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov. So having arrived there, Putin it wasn't limited to simply visiting. Putin took the time to hold a highly strategic meeting with these different commanders, these different commanding officers. So the high-level military meeting took place in the presence of the Chief of the General Staff Russian armies, the Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces, are the firm instructions that are needed to give, and on the spot, he did statements really demonstrate that the situation will be continuous. So, within the framework of this geopolitical conference dedicated to world news, of course, of this surprise visit that we will speak. Before continuing, please share the conference as much as possible. It needs to be shared in all groups. Give it lots of likes, and don't forget, above all, do not leave your differences. Leave your opinion in the comments. If this is your first time stumbling upon my video, click the subscribe button. Subscribe so you don't miss any more of my conferences, and I come back again every those who post my videos on TikTok without my consent. If you do not get in touch with me as quickly as possible, we will delete your chains. There you go. So let's go in the depths. It's a surprise visit from Vladimir Putin at the command post of the West Group. This is a presidential trip. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all and everyone. Welcome to this new geopolitical conference dedicated to world news. Top stories, international news. The President Vladimir Putin responds to NATO and to the European Union by putting himself in the shoes of the leader of war. Putin has put himself in the shoes of a leader of war. As you can see for himself, he went to the field at the front. He went to visit to the soldiers at a post command at the level of the Western grouping. This trip, this surprise visit, and the fact that he wore the outfit from a military standpoint, this is a very, very strong that he sends to all these institutions and these organizations or states that think that the war should continue. Vladimir Putin sends them the message very strong, according to which he is ready to continue the war, and then he passes himself a good manager to receive reports from these commanders of the different units to see which